Bueno, vamos a comenzar entonces nuestro seminario. Hola a todas y todas, ¿cómo están? Mi nombre es María Jesús Silva, soy coordinadora de comunicaciones de la Facultad de Gobierno. Y antes de comenzar nuestro conversatorio, queremos darles algunas indicaciones generales. Primero, vamos a dejar 20 minutos al final de la actividad para responder todas las preguntas del público. Ustedes las pueden realizar en la sección preguntas y respuestas o Q&A si tienen Zoom en inglés. Ese botón lo encuentran en la barrita de abajo. También les recordamos que todas nuestras actividades son informadas por email y por redes sociales, así que los invito a que nos sigan en Facebook, en Twitter y en Instagram. Nos encuentran como @gobiernoUDD. Hoy nos acompaña el director ejecutivo del Instituto Belt and Road Strategy de la Universidad de Tshingua, Zhiquin. Ahí Yuso después les va a comentar bien cómo se pronuncia el nombre, para conversar sobre cómo el coronavirus y la recesión económica afectará la relación del proyecto La Nueva Ruta de la Seda con América Latina y Chile. Les recordamos que la Ruta de la Seda consiste en la elaboración de dos rutas combinadas, una terrestre y otra marítima, que mejorarían las conexiones chinas con el continente asiático y con el resto del mundo. Les recordamos que esta actividad es en inglés, no habrá subtítulos y será moderada por Yunson Lee, que es el director del Centro de Estudios de Relaciones Internacionales de la Facultad de Gobierno. Así que los dejo ahora con Yunso.
Well, thank you very much. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Professor Shi and Tsinghua University for accepting this invitation in the time of pandemic, in which the world is abnormal. And for this reason, we have to do this conversation virtually. We would like to do this seminar inviting you to Chile again, like 3 years ago, when we visit the South Chile, you remember. Well, but unfortunately, the situation that afflicts us does not allow us to do it. So thanks to technology, we use this platform to communicate because we believe that the world does not stop with the virus and we have to fight all together. And as President Xi Jinping said 2 days ago, he proposed in the Assembly annual meeting in WHO, who urged all countries to develop the multilateralism and cooperation between the nations. So the topic that we bring us together today has a look at the Chinese initiative of One Belt, One Road in the time of pandemic. What will happen in the post-pandemic time? How will the post-pandemic will be configured? And what is the role of Chinese initiative in the recovery of the world economy? That all question we want to answer in this conversation with Professor Shi. And let me have some introduction about this initiative. Well, this initiative is officially announced by President Xi Jinping in September 2013 in Nazarbayev University, that's in Astana in Kazakhstan, and is supported by 40 billion fundraising campaign, and it's an important instrument of China economic expansion as part of its Go Global strategy. One Belt, One Road is a crowning factor in the success of the Chinese economy and China's search for a new, efficient growth engine. The Silk and Road Renaissance, One Belt, One Road, it's a groundbreaking event in modern history, which is thought to be a level of importance equal to that of the individual, the industrial revolution. So the project fits perfectly into the current stage of China development, which of the world's second largest economy has the production and economy capacity to keep the One Belt, One Road idea filled with the content. This project opened the door for Westerners to participate in China's success. It's also an eloquent marketing element of the Middle Kingdom strategy, referring to that period of great Chinese power. One Belt, One Road has also been included in President Xi Jinping's Renaissance program for the Chinese nation. The One Belt, One Road initiative laid the stage of Confucius 2,500 years ago, has become the token of the Chinese cultural expansion of soft power, which is an element of conscious and effective participation in the process of globalization with unprecedented strength and reach. So after this briefing, please, Professor Shi, we can start the conversation. And let me ask you some basic questions about the BRI. For example, when was the One Belt, One Road initiative launched? And what is the context? And what exactly is it? How many countries involved in it? And maybe the most important is what the economic benefit of the BRI for the world. So please, Professor Shi.
Okay. So maybe I try to answer your questions one by one. So maybe you give so many questions. Maybe I can't remember at once. So if I can't answer your question, you can try to give me a notice. So before I answer your question, I'd like to express my thanks, my acknowledgement. Yes, and today we. When I see you, yeah, just it give me a vivid picture of 3 years ago when I was in Chile, in your university. So I was very impressed by university. So and also, so when I was back, when I'm back to China, so every chance I will say that yeah, Chile is a very beautiful country, is a very great country. And also, your Open University is a very wonderful university, yeah. And also, currently, and I think your university is playing a very influential role in Chile's education system. I think it's thank you again, and I'm very happy to meet you again. To talk online. So, refer to your first question. I think yes. About BRI, I think just you mentioned that it was in 2013. I think is a very important year for BRI. So when President Xi Jinping paid his visit to two important countries. One country is in Central Asia. The Kazakhstan is a very large country in the Central Asia, and the other is Indonesia, also the largest country in ASEAN, in Southeast Asia. I think that both important countries. In these two countries, he delivered the speech. In Kazakhstan, he said that we should try to build the Silk Road economic belt. We call the 丝绸之路经济带, means the belt. And that is in September in 2013. Then 1 month later, in October, when he pays the visit to Indonesia, when he delivers the speech at the National Congress, he said that we should work together, try to build the 21st century maritime Silk Road. So here after that, we refer to the Belt and Road. So, and the government later tried to shorten the name to the Belt and BRI, means Belt and Road Initiative. This is then how does the name come from? So what does it mean about BRI? I think BRI means this is a very beginning, and literally, even for our ordinary Chinese, we cannot understand what does it mean. So maybe it's and step by step, yes, all the Chinese people know a lot and try to have a deeper understanding of this initiative. As a matter of fact, is try to build an economic platform. We try for economic cooperation. So I think the world has, when the world was first introduced, so it has undergone change, evolution of the term. So we call even we have BRI, and very beginning at the early stage we call OBER. Just Europeans would like you. OBER means one belt, one road. This is very literal translation, and also there are many implications or misunderstandings about the BRI, whether it is a strategy or it is a concept, it is an idea. Different people have a different understanding from their perspective. So step by step, the Chinese government to try to use I mean at very beginning, about 2014, I mean about 2014, even the government document sometimes try to use the word strategy, the one belt, one road strategy. But later officials, the government decided not to use the term strategy, because strategy will create will create suspicions that maybe what do you want to do by the strategy. We try to use the initiative, means that if you like to join the program, you are welcome, and it will try to track the government officials or government will not now, or we can say abandoned the idea of the 64 or 65, and the official assignment. I mean, the most important thing factor, we can say that why they decided to not to use the 64 or 65 in 2015, the government official document, I think March 2015. Three ministries, means Commission for Reform and Development, Fagaiwei, and the Ministry of Chambers, it means just Commerce, 商务部, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The three ministries jointly issued a paper. This is an official paper, indicates what does it mean by BRI, and how many countries will be involved, what you will do in under the framework. So it emphasized for those countries who are willing to join, who are willing to cooperate, you are welcome. So we will not use 65 or 64 countries now. But although we haven't the number of countries, but on the other hand, Chinese government have signed agreement with about more than 130 countries and about 30 international organizations to work together to jointly build the BRI initiative. So if we can see how many countries, we can see according to the agreement or MOU, memorandum of mutual understanding. We can say about more than 130 countries. But the government official will say now we will try to use another similar words like the countries across the regions or across the line, 沿线国家, or the countries relevant country, means those countries who are cooperating with the cooperating in the framework very closely. So we can say 相关国家 means relevant countries, or 沿线国家 means the countries across the line. So we should try to use this. But we can say this is the second I want to emphasize. The third is, as I mentioned, at the very beginning, with the domestic environment and the external environment, we try to have the we will try to have the good relation with the neighboring countries. Just I mentioned in 2013, we have some disputes with the neighboring countries, although China developed very fast. So we are very, how to say, we are very cool now. we don't know. We wondered why we have so much close cooperation partnership with the neighboring countries on one hand, but on the other hand, so we haven't have good relations with the neighboring countries. We try to solve these issues. We can try to solve these issues. I think so. I think the main area or the important area for us to work, according to the BRI, is the neighboring countries like ASEAN countries in Southeast countries, like Vietnam, like Cambodia, like Indonesia, like Malaysia, and also the South Asia countries like Pakistan, and also the Central Asian countries are also very important regions. And surely, we'll try what's the BRI mean? We'll try to connect the two largest economic regions. On the one hand, the Asia, on the other hand, Europe, surely, and the far distance Europe. Yeah, it's also very important as countries like in recent years. In recent years, we have a framework of we call the 16+1. 16+1 means Central Eastern European countries cooperation with China. Because of the 16+1, it was so attractive. Now, and last year, it means 2009, Greece also become the member of the framework we call 17+1. 17+1. I think this maybe this is the about how many countries about the BRI. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to ask questions?
Yeah. No. Well, thank you very much, Professor, for this great presentation and the zone about the One Belt One Road initiative. For now, I have three broad questions about China Belt and Road initiative I raised after hearing you in this presentation. First of all, what are likely to be the real object behind the initiative? This initiative is something behind, and the second one is the investment and the trade. I consider the major task of the initiative by China to be driven by market-based transaction, or will there be a form of foreign aid that is not based on economic calculation of gain and lose? Third, which of the 60 or so countries in Asia, Europe, Africa, and South America along the Belt and Road will likely be the initiative priority targeted economic cooperation? Well, what do you say, Professor, about these three questions or of this?
So it means what are the reasons behind the project?
Yeah. What's the first question is, what's the real objective behind the initiative? Is something behind this initiative, or is a geopolitical one, or is it only the only economy issues?
Okay. So yes, there are some discussions or suspicions about the reasons behind the project. One of the important skepticism or argument is that China want to build the geopolitical spheres or want to build its own backyard, like something like that. I think that this is most of the ideas are from the Western media or the Western scholars. For China, we think we can still, even in the Western scholars, they have some discussions that it is a reaction of the Americans' pivot strategy to China, because China is developing very, very fast in the past decades, especially since 1911. So American USA was trapped in Afghanistan, in Middle East. So and just this time, Chinese entrance to WTO, and also have a very close cooperations with ASEAN countries. Yeah, we have very, very close ties with these countries. So and some at least of Americans like Obama or like his administrations was very alarmed that we should try to pull Americans troops out of Middle East or to try to get back to Asia to balance China. I think this is the American scholar thinks that I think that maybe to some extent there is some reasons. Just I have mentioned some background about the BI. Another background maybe I just forgot to mention is that in the past decade, but we have on the one hand globalization and also regionalizations. We have some economic regional economic agreement framework like APEC, like NATO, NAFTA, and also like ASEAN. And what's very important is TPP. Yeah, TPP by Trans-Pacific Partnership, and TTIP means transatlantic investment and trade partner with European countries. Means because some scholars or some politicians in USA, in American administration, think that China benefited too much from the free trade, benefit too much from WTO because the threshold is too low. We should try to realize higher standards. We should try to have a new regulations to contain China, or to ask China to have to obey, to follow their new criteria or standards. So this is the globalization, regionalization, and means anyway means the Americans is try to have some measures to limit Chinese development. And some scholars said that China is how does China respond? China try to propose the One Belt One Road, or RCEP, RCEP in the regional comprehensive framework with the ASEAN countries. I think this is also one argument about try to explain the BRI. So I think maybe this is one of the large background. But as a matter of fact, just I mentioned that China really want to cooperate with the neighboring countries. Just I mentioned that we have our economic ties, economic relations are so close, but politically and in security areas, the ASEAN countries does not trust China or does not want to cooperate with China. So we have disputes. So we should try to keep the neighboring countries ease at Chinese development. We should try to have Chinese development to favor these countries. So I think in 2013, I just mentioned the two important countries in Kazakhstan, in Indonesia. Another important thing that I haven't mentioned is that as soon as President Xi Jinping get back from his visit, we have another important conference we called 周边国家工作会议, means diplomacy conference related to the neighboring countries. Means we should try to have a good neighbor policy. So that is a very important reason, and also it was understood as Chinese geopolitics reasons. From the very beginning, I think China just want to develop economy, want to have a cooperative platform. I think this is the main reasons. and also some scholars try to make the comparison between the BRI with America's Marshall Plan. So I think this is quite different, and also very important. You seem to ask that about how much money Chinese. How much money Chinese for is budget for BRI. As a matter of fact, I don't think there is a exact number China will try to invest how much money. Like the Marshall Plan in 1947, it has a very exact number of the dollars. I think this is different. I don't think it's a geopolitical reason. I think it's really just want to develop itself and also want to develop the neighboring countries anyway for economy.
Okay, Professor. Considering how the COVID-19 pandemic has increased the fiscal and domestic pressure facing China. So let's talk about the impact of the COVID-19 in China and how this impact affects the development of the Belt and Road Initiative. Because the world is changing now because of COVID-19. So how this COVID-19 pandemic impact or affect the development of the Belt and Road Initiative? So, well, your turn, Professor.
Okay, so I think so the COVID-19 I think is unexpected things. So nobody had predicted that it will come, it will happen. So for China also, we haven't thought of this event. That is why at the very beginning, the China is very in a passive situation to fight against the virus. Like in Wuhan, try to quarantine, the blocked, the city, the blocked, the province blocked, and even the countries blocked. So for the Chinese traditional Spring festivals, all the Chinese, for me, for example, when I was back home to spend the festival with my family, so usually the important things, the first, the calendar new year first, 春节, so is a date for gatherings, but we haven't any gathering after the. We have a lot of bad news from TV, from the newspapers at the first day of the new year. So as soon as the first day was over, so I started to hurry back to Beijing because I'm very worried that we'll be quite quarantined in my hometown, Henan province. So I decided, as a matter of fact, I want to have more days together with my mother, but I have to go back to Beijing. So that means that anybody haven't thought of these terrible things. So we don't want these things to happen, but it happened. So it not only happened in China, but it spread to the world, first to Europe, then to USA, and now finally to the whole world. Even I know Chile, you're also blocked, at home. I think this is a very heavy blow for the world, for China, for Europe, for American, and for Chile. I think and with the virus breakout, I think many changes will be taken place. It's a very important change will taken place, and for the BRI, I think also it will affect the native BRI. So why? Because the change that we can say domestic situation will be changed and international situation will be changed. In terms of domestic situation within the economy, is suffered a lot. About 2 or 3 months, all the economy stopped. So especially the services are very bad. So a lot of restaurants, they get prepared, they get ready for good money, but they are stopped. So quite great loss for the restaurants, for the service industries, and also for the transportation. Yeah, for the air flights. So many areas were affected. So economy, yeah, is a very heavy blow, and also caused a lot of unemployment. So now I think in China a very serious problem is unemployment. This is so money shortage. Money is a problem. So this will affect BRI because BRI is mainly focused on infrastructure. So need money. So I think just a week ago we had a online discussion. Some scholars said maybe we'll try to reconsider the BRI. Maybe some projects will be stopped, or some project maybe will have a money shortage. I think this is very important effect of the upon the BRI. And also, quite many workers were blocked home. They cannot go back to the project, and many projects were postponed. And also
Vamos a esperar entonces unos minutos porque al parecer tenemos un pequeño problema de internet.
Parece que tenemos problemas de conexión.
Vamos a esperar que se vuelva a conectar el profesor Xi.
Bueno, por mientras, si alguien quiere hacer alguna pregunta, profesor, vamos a dejar los últimos 10 minutos para que podamos hacerla al profesor.
Vamos a esperar unos breves minutos y que le estamos volviendo a mandar el link al profesor.
Así es, me estoy comunicando con él para ver cómo podemos retomar un poco esto. Bueno, con lo que pasa, si en la televisión pasa algunas cosas inesperadas, ¿cómo no va a pasar nosotros también en este medio de transmisión donde todo funciona en base a la tecnología? Así que, bueno, esperemos un rato. A ver qué pasa la conexión. Bueno, el profesor me dice que está esperando, o sea, está reiniciando para entrar, así que me dijo por el teléfono. Así que esperamos un ratito. Ya, bueno, yo creo que el profesor ha dicho varias cosas interesantes acerca de esta función y de esta iniciativa de una franja o una ruta, que yo creo que ha despertado mucho interés y también preocupación por parte de la comunidad internacional acerca de lo que es realmente. Bueno, la pregunta que yo había hecho, y bueno, después le voy a preguntar también, es ver qué pasa con esta parte de la geopolítica, de la economía, porque mucha gente que dice que, bueno, a lo mejor hay una cosa implícita de China que es el proyecto de Belt and Road, ya que está asociado con un tema geopolítico, que es una forma en que China pudiera ir ganando territorio, ¿no es cierto?, teniendo algún tipo de vinculaciones ya a lo largo y ancho de todo el mundo a través de esta construcción de infraestructura, porque China está incentivando y también cofinanciando los proyectos de inversiones en infraestructura tales como puertos, como también líneas de ferrocarriles, y no solamente África, porque ha ido incluso hasta Europa. Y hoy uno puede tomar el tren desde Xi'an, en China, puede llegar hasta un puerto en Portugal, de un ferrocarril que había sido cofinanciado con el gobierno chino a través de estos fondos que se había puesto de esta franja y una ruta. Entonces, muchos países, sobre todo Estados Unidos, se ven un poco de alguna forma amenazados por esta iniciativa y, claro, es el despertar del interés de tratar de estudiar qué pasa con esta iniciativa, si hay alguna trampa, si esto es muy similar a los procesos de la reconstrucción que tuvo el mundo después de la Segunda Guerra Mundial, ya donde todos los préstamos tenían ciertas condiciones, ya algunos hablan de la trampa de los préstamos chinos, etcétera, etcétera. Pero habría que analizarlo. Pero yo me quedo con la palabra de Confucio, ya Confucio, un filósofo chino que vivió hace más de 2500 años atrás, ya que tenía muchas enseñanzas y uno de ellos, yo creo que viene muy bien, encaja muy bien con la idea de una franja, una ruta, Belt and Road Initiative, es que el maestro Confucio decía, si tú quieres ganar dinero, tienes que dejar que el otro gane dinero. Tú no puedes ganar dinero si tú no dejas al otro ganar dinero. Entonces, creo que esta palabra, de alguna forma, resume el sentir de este proyecto de una franja, una ruta, porque China está haciendo negocio, está incentivando el desarrollo de la economía internacional, ya no solamente por un tema de ayudar al mundo, sino más bien por su propio interés. Porque si existe un movimiento, circulación de la economía, ya si la economía internacional fluye, obviamente que eso va a repercutir y va a ayudar enormemente a la economía china. Y si la economía china crece también el ingreso per cápita, mejora la calidad de vida de las personas, de los chinos, y esto significaría una mayor legitimidad del gobierno y precisamente del Partido Comunista Chino. Entonces, todo está muy relacionado, ya, y yo creo que con la palabra de Confucio recobra mucho más sentido ya con esta idea de una franja, una ruta. Ya vuelvo a reiterar, esta palabra dice, tú para ganar dinero tienes que dejar que el otro gane dinero. Tú no puedes ganar dinero si no dejas que el otro gane dinero. O sea, esa palabra lo dijo Confucio, ya con un sentido mucho más humanista, ya, pero más que humanista, yo creo que tiene algo de estratégico, como lo era Sun Tzu en el arte de la guerra, ¿no? Pero bueno, creo que en la política exterior de China, ya, no solamente recoge algunos elementos de la teoría de relaciones internacionales, del realismo, del neoliberalismo, etcétera, etcétera. Yo creo que China tiene un camino propio de su enfoque, de su política exterior, ya, y ese enfoque evidentemente se basa en los preceptos culturales antiguos, como es la influencia de Confucio sobre su gobierno, sobre el posicionamiento de China en el sistema internacional y que de alguna forma ver cómo China se integra, se desarrolla, no solamente por el tema del bien de la comunidad internacional, sino por su propio interés. Entonces, creo que es destacable hablar de este proyecto de una franja, una ruta, en el sentido de que el objetivo, o mejor dicho, es un proceso de integración que está abierta, ya es un proceso de integración abierta para que todos los países pudieran integrarse a ella. Y el lema principal en esta iniciativa es ganancias compartidas. Fíjate el concepto, es ganancias compartidas. O sea, si yo gano con eso y tú también, entonces integremos en esta red gigantesca de la ruta de la seda, tanto marítima como la terrestre. Y fíjate que esto recoge nuevamente de los antiguos resabios o de la experiencia histórica que ha hecho China con respecto a la ruta de la seda. Por eso se llamaba la ruta de la seda del siglo XXI, ya la ruta de la seda. Porque fíjate que durante el siglo primero, segundo, tercero, después de Cristo, desde que se estableció esta ruta de la seda, había interconexiones, comunicaciones entre diversas culturas, en la cual en estas diversas culturas pudieron intercambiar ideas, y no solamente ideas, el comercio, que es lo que más interesa, business are business. ¿Ya? Y en ello, en este proceso de intercambio, donde los chinos se encontraron con el mundo musulmán, donde se encontraron con los romanos, porque acuérdense que la ruta de la seda llegaba hasta actual Turquía, y actual Turquía en esos momentos, en la antigüedad, era parte de Bizancio, después el antiguo Imperio Turco Otomano. O sea, había una gran influencia y conexión con el mundo europeo de alguna forma. Y fíjate que en la ruta de la seda no había o no surgieron conflictos, ya, sino más bien había cooperación. Cooperación económica y también de ámbito cultural, porque a través de la ruta de la seda no solamente era el comercio, llegó a Asia el budismo. Ya llegó a Asia el budismo. Entonces, el presidente Xi Jinping, en su justa razón, en 2013, habrá planteado, dice, bueno, y si la ruta de la seda histórica, la antigua, había mucha cooperación y no guerra, ¿por qué no reproducir esta iniciativa para el siglo XXI y para ahora? Y yo creo que por ahí apunta un poco esta política. Y si nosotros entendemos un poco la historia y la cultura de China, creo que uno puede sentirse satisfecho o puede sentirse aliviado porque China no tiene estas pretensiones territoriales ya, o expansionistas, ya, porque a lo largo de todo el desarrollo de su historia ya ha salido fuera de su territorio. Yo creo que durante la guerra de Corea, ya, pero durante la guerra de Corea, el apoyo de China a Corea del Norte era dentro del fragor de la revolución. China había logrado el triunfo de la revolución en el año 1949, entonces había que ayudar a su hermano de Corea del Norte a hacer esta revolución. Yo creo que fue único momento de la historia contemporánea de China que ha salido fuera de su territorio. Ya, bueno, en la década del 70, 80 había unos conflictos fronterizos con Vietnam, ya, pero en esos sectores las zonas fronterizas son tan poco claras porque está definida en términos de dónde corre el río. Y como es una zona amazónica, lluvia fuerte cambia el curso del río, por lo tanto cambia la frontera y empiezan los conflictos. Ya cada uno reclama que lo suyo, etcétera, etcétera. Ya, y en términos de la frontera natural, China está encerrado por el desierto del Gobi por el norte, por las estepas por el norte, en el sudeste, noreste es el Océano Pacífico, y por el lado oeste, donde están los Himalayas. O sea, está bien encerrado como para hacer una pretensión expansionista o un juego del poder geopolítico expansionista, de adquisición de zonas de interés geopolítica. Porque para el gobierno actual de China, lo principal es el desarrollo económico. Tratar de mejorar la calidad de vida de las personas, y esto se logra solamente con el desarrollo económico, porque el desarrollo económico de China actual no se debió a un desarrollo bélico intenso. China no ha invadido ya en estos últimos 50 años a otros países, ya, o sea, todo este prestigio de China ya logrado por China no se debió a la guerra, sino más bien se debió a un desarrollo político interno, ya basado en sus intereses económicos internos, ya, y yo siempre digo a mis alumnos, ya, China en su política de desarrollo fue más bien de carácter como autista, con respecto a todos los autistas, ¿no? Porque China se concentró exclusivamente a sus propios intereses internos que tiene que ver con el desarrollo. Entonces, el desarrollo económico, mayor integración con la economía internacional, más le reporta beneficio a su política interna, más beneficia a su gobierno y, por lo tanto, mayor legitimidad a su propio gobierno, etcétera, etcétera. Entonces, este miedo generado muchas veces por el desconocimiento de la comunidad internacional acerca del real interés de China de este proyecto de una franja, una ruta, yo creo que no hay cabida a esta duda. Y esto creo que de alguna forma con esta conferencia y serie de otras conferencias que hace en otras universidades, de alguna forma logra un poco desmistificar ello, ¿no es cierto?, tanto como la Universidad de Chile, el Instituto de Estudios Internacionales, el profesor Andrés, ¿no es cierto?, está a cargo de este proyecto, que ha organizado varios seminarios, también hablando de lo mismo, de los temas de tratar de comprender de China, y también el aporte que ha hecho la Universidad Católica, el Centro de Estudios de Relaciones Internacionales, el Centro de Estudios Internacionales, ya donde Jorge encabeza, y también ya han tenido 2 o 3 seminarios de este tipo en estos últimos meses.
可以了吧？抱歉。
Okay, see, yeah, Professor, please, you will return.
Okay, very sorry. So, 技术 technical is a problem. Just now I mentioned about the domestic economy. So yeah, a very serious for a serious impact effect upon the BRI. Another factor I think is the international external environmental. So as we know that we can say the COVID-19 or the pandemic will affect international relations. As a matter of fact, it is make it worse upon China-US relations. Now is I think it's very, very serious. So from the trade war last year and to the current about the disputes or the accusation each other about the origin of the virus. So I think in future China-US relation we have very permissive views, except China-US relations, and also even in some other regions there are some misunderstanding or complaints about China. All these international environmental will affect will make it difficult for BRI to continue. I think this is the important, the very, very important situation about the future. And the third is that I just mentioned, Chinese suffered from the economy, and the economic situation. You make maybe whether whether we have sufficient money or capital. Also is a problem. But maybe it's very difficult to predict the future. But anyway, although we have just this the things we mentioned, which is not so positive but negative, very negative. But in future, as soon as the economy is recovered, I think China will still try to push BRI, because just we mentioned, this is a economic platform, and also this is the result of inevitable trend for China to come to, for China at the current stage. China has to still will try to use BRI as a very important opportunity to open its economy, and to still carry on to implement its reform. Will try to continue to open, continue to reform, and I think the BRI is a very, very important instrument. And also the BRI is written in China, in the CCP's means Chinese Communist Party's document, means the party constitution, and also it is like Xi Jinping emphasized over and over again. It is the project of the century. Means it's for a long time we should try to cooperate. I mean the substantial, the real, although have many implications. What's more important is that it's try to cooperate with international society, with the foreign country. I think this is the important point we will not change. So although we have in spite of the difficulties, we still place the hope. We have the hope on the BRI. So in future, I think now tomorrow we call the 两会, means 2 sessions, means the National People's Congress and the political consultative conference. All the delegates and members will be here. We'll discuss the very important very important plans for this year's. So maybe we can see clearly after the conference. From my personal view, I don't think it will be stopped. I think it will continue. Okay. Okay.
Well,
maybe you can say.
Now I believe with this present conversation about One Belt One Road initiative, there must be many open questions. Therefore, I would like to leave the public who have the right hand to ask, so the chat for the Q&A section. So please, Professor, feel free to answer the question from our audience. Please. Well, I see we have many questions. So can you see, Professor Shi, the question in the section of Q&A?
Because it just stopped. So maybe the question was destroyed.
Okay, for example, one question from our audience is from Professor Lorena Marchand, in the Confucius Institute and of University Santo Tomas. She said, what do you think about China's loss of international prestige? How do you think it will affect the Chinese economy?
就是关于中国的形象是吧？
Yeah, what do you think about China's loss of international prestige? How do you think it will affect the Chinese economy? The Chinese prestige
means means the COVID-19 will affect Chinese prestige. Yeah.
Because
I think that Yeah. Yeah, to be true, I think. Thank you for your questions. I think this is this is just what we want to discuss with our many friends from the world. Just 2 days later, we have discussion with a European colleague, friends about Chinese prestige. As we know, it's really, I think, Chinese prestige was damaged because of the COVID-19, because at the very beginning, the virus, will break out in China, but maybe a lot of, I think maybe a lot of complaints, a lot of misunderstanding about China. I think that's from the surface. I think that's normal because it's a very abrupt, a very certain event. So anybody cannot think of it. Anybody cannot think of it. The virus caused so damage to the world economy and caused the lives and deaths. So everybody will feel very sorrowful, yeah, for that. So so they don't know, they don't know why this occurred in China and why it is spread. So any person maybe will have doubts or skepticism about it. Currently, maybe I think it's Chinese is in very at the very beginning of the outbreak. So China is in a very difficult situation. But after the outbreak, the whole nation was united to fight against the virus, and within about 2 months, we succeeded in control the virus and stopped the spread of the virus. So and after that, China is trying to help the other countries to control or to control the virus. So we'll try to give our hand from the bottom of heart for those who are in difficulties. I think step by step, we'll try to have our action, to have our help to help those who are in difficult out of their difficulties. I think step by step, Chinese people and the world people will understand each other. I think we need more mutual, we should more exchange. We should try to share more views. We should try to work more together. Work together to fight the errors. Now, the virus indicated that all life on the planet, we have the same fate. The virus is the common enemy. Chinese is not the enemy. Chinese, like you and us, we are all human beings. We are all the victims of the virus. So only by our action, by our cooperation and help each other, we can try to get over the difficulties. So I think in the long term, so I think we will understand each other. Chinese people are very friendly and also are very kindly. So since in the past decades, even the BRI, is not only it's not only the things of Chinese, but we will say that it is originated from China, but it belongs to the world. We just want to build the platform to develop together. As Xi Jinping delivered his speech about the BRI, he said, "Why I have the idea BRI?" He said, "I always thought the world has some problems. The world is developed inequality exists in the world, and also there are wars. Yeah, there are wars and regional disability. So how to try to keep the world peace? How to try to have to have everybody how to try to get rid of inequality. Yeah, we should try to work together. He said, why we have this? We want to. This is a way we want to build a shared community of the future. Only we work together, we can fight all. We can try to meet all the challenges of the world, like the climate change, like the war between in some regions and in some districts. So so this is, I think, the real ideas of the BRI. We just want to develop with the world. Yeah. In the past, yeah, China, before 4 decades ago, China was very, very poor and was very less developed. And when it starts to work with the world, it starts to open its door to the world, it developed very, very fast. So after China, yes, is developed, we should try to help those who are still less developed, because the world inequality, unbalanced development in the world is a very serious problem. So is most of the except the advanced countries like USA, like European countries, most of the countries of the world are poor, are less developed. So we should, and China also is the less developed countries. So we have the same experience with those countries. So now I think Chinese experience is, I think, from a very poor country now to the second largest economy. I think only if we can work together, we can challenge any challenges. Okay. Mm.
Well, Professor, because of time, we have time for just one question. So, do you see the Q&A section? Julian Gutadauro had one question, very interesting. So,
okay, I find this question, which the strategy in the European Union, is it going to approach the EU as a whole? The countries separately? Is the BRI going to help those like Italy who maybe don't trust EU anymore, but don't have more options? It means, what is the strategy of the Chinese strategy on the European Union? Yeah. Can I grasp your idea? What China's strategy toward the European Union? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to approach. Okay. I think that China and EU, I think, are partnership. Yeah. So, and we have very, very close cooperation in the past decades, since I think since 1990s. So, about 1997, from starting to 1997. Surely, maybe there are bilateral relations can date back to 1970s, but it developed faster from the 1990s. Why? Because both China and EU realized the importance of each other. So EU realized the importance of Chinese market, and China realized the importance of Europeans' technology and management. So this pushed China and EU together. And at the turn of the century, also at the turn of the century, in the world that there is we call international unilateralism. W. George Bush, unilateralism tried to make attack against Iraq, and also European Union's stand against Americans' unilateralism, and China also stand against Americans' unilateralism. China and EU, they have common grounds on international issues, markets, technology, management, and the views on the international affairs. Push them together. And in 2013, in 2003, China EU established what we call a comprehensive strategic partnership. Both realized the importance of each other. So I think that's very important. And in the and now about we have about now it's about more than 10 years since the establishment of the comprehensive strategic partnership, and both benefit from their cooperation. And China, they were very fast, and China learned a lot from EU. And EU, some EU countries also get benefit from Chinese market, like Germany, like UK, like Netherlands. They realize, they see that they regard China as the largest potential market. I think they get benefit from China. So I think this is a very important. We should try to keep in mind, and we try to look EU as a very important partner. This is one thing that we pay much attention. We value the importance of EU, but on the other hand, EU is a supranational entity, because it is a combination of about 28 or 27 members. Each country has their different demands, have their different interest. Maybe the interest is not the interest of EU. So they'd like to cooperate with China. So on the one hand, EU will work together with China. On the other hand, EU member states like Germany, like France, like UK, they would like to work with China. So why not China? Also, China will try to follow the situation of EU. On the one hand, we worked closely with EU. On the other hand, we work together closely with the member states. But maybe some European countries said that is China want to divide Europe. Very important example is about 16+1 or 17+1. I think this is quite different understanding. We think that EU is together. Traditionally, we pay much more attention to Western European countries, the old EU countries like France, like Germany, like Italy. On the other hand, we neglect the Central Eastern European countries. As a matter of fact, Central Eastern European countries has also cooperation. We have also very close relations before 1980s, even before 1980s, because they are social. We have the history memorized. So, and at this point, the EU, when the Central Eastern European country, after they joined the EU, they find out that we haven't got what we expected from EU. Because EU, especially after financial crisis since 2009 and 2013, so the EU have a lot of problems, have a lot of crises. So they haven't enough money to improve the infrastructure of the Eastern European countries. So at this time, China, we would like to cooperate. So on the one hand, they need capital to build the infrastructure. On the other hand, China has the capital, it is sufficient capital. So requirements, demands, both demands. I think that's the background. And we said that the Central is a very important component and the European Union. With the Central Eastern European countries, we also try to respect the European Union. In recent summits, we try to invite the high officials of the EU. And what's important for, we have misunderstanding. And in last May, when President Xi Jinping made his visit to Italy, to France, to France, EU's European Commission, Juncker, and the President of the European Council, Tusk, come to Paris to meet President Xi Jinping. Big states of EU, also have a meeting with President Xi Jinping. And they decided that in 2020, we have a large summit. Traditionally we have a China-EU summit annually, but this year both sides, both EU and China, decide to have a large summits. Means China will meet 27 members, the head of the states or the head of the government of the EU. That means we don't want to divide the EU, although some European countries have misunderstanding. In terms of Italy and Greece, I think this is two very typical examples which want to cooperate with China. Why? Because for Greece, I think is a very small country of the EU, but maybe during financial crisis, everybody knows very clearly that Greece suffered a lot from the crisis. They need money, but the EU have no money, and its infrastructure is very poor, very backward. For example, it's a very important port we call Piraeus. Piraeus is a very poor port in Europe, but it has no money. In 2016, in 2006 or 5, Chinese Costco and Piraeus had a good talk. They tried to invest to attract Chinese investment of the port. Surely there is some difficulty. There are some problems during the cooperation, but all the problems, were solved, and Piraeus is developed very, very fast. It is becoming the most competitive port in Europe, and the Greek government realized the benefit from cooperation with China, and now it ranks about the 3rd or 4th in Europe. I think this is a very typical successful story of BRI. Another is Italy. Now also Italy in the Southern European countries also, we know, a lot of turnover of the governments of Italy also need money. Why the 5-star movements were in power? Because economy, maybe high employment, many young students or youth, very high, about maybe 40 or 30 to 40, and the unemployment. So they need money. And also the China and Italy has very similarity in one important economic sector. That means family enterprises. Family enterprise. So Italy and China has a very close cooperation in trade. But Italians infrastructure also, they need infrastructure. So the 5-star movement, why 5-star movement were in power? Because they criticized the government in the past very seriously. So you government, you haven't done a good job. You are not good government. We are good government. So when they were in government, so they will try to improve, they will try to prove that they are capable of economy. So that's why. At this time also, EU can't give them a hand in economy. So we try to ask China for help. This is not Chinese want to divide. They have requirements. They demand China. So one has demand of the help. The other also want to cooperate economically. So why should not they come together? I think this is very, very important. That's why Italy, surely during the virus, the virus. Also, when Italy need help from EU, the EU cannot give them help. Even their medical materials were kidnapped, were stopped at the very beginning. So that's why we know that the president of the European Commission, was van der Leyen twice say apologize to Italy because Italians people will lose confidence upon Europe, upon EU. So today I was interviewed by a South Morning Post. I asked the question also almost the same question like this. Yes, EU, yes, we can say the EU has a lot of in financial crisis. They have difficulties to solve the divisions between South and North, between East and the West. And now the virus still, the old problems appear again because they are different, they are national sovereignty state. Each state, each government first should try to take responsibility to its citizens, to its voters. So, and second, the EU. So that's the real situation. And I was interested, and today, yesterday, we learned the good news that Merkel and Macron, they have agreement. They have tried a rescue fund. I know about 5,000 亿, rescue fund for
50
the recovery. For the recovery of the European economy. If they do not, I said, if they will not do this, Europe will split. I think that's why Macron and Macron will come together. Because the two countries are motors of European integration, are engines of integration. And European countries like Spain, like Italy, like France, they need money. But for the Northern European countries like Germany, like Netherlands, like Denmark, their economic situation is better. It's good. Why not? Why we should try to have a burden, to share the burden with the Southern European countries? So I think in difficult time, nationalism will be more important in countries. Currently, I think in terms of China's situation, China's disputes with the Americans, the same issue is now what's the common enemy? The common enemy is the virus. It's natural disaster, not the man-made. So it is not man-made. If it is man-made, that is anti-human being. That is a very, very serious thing. So very horrible. So we should not blame each other. We should work together to fight the common enemy. That's important. After the virus was controlled, then we should work together about the recovery of the economy. Now it's a globalized world. Globalized village. So we cannot live without the others. I think that's the current things of the European Unions. Even the European Unions, for the elites, for Macron, for Merkel, they realize the importance of solidarity. So that's why they have the rescue fund. I think it's a very important thing. After Germany and France, have the agreement, the other smaller countries, I think, will follow. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in honor of the time, because we have a 12-hour difference between Santiago and Beijing, well, I would like to thank Professor Shi from Tshingua University. And thank you very much for sharing with us about the One Belt, One Road initiative in the time of pandemic. Well, we are living in the moment of a huge change in political and international relations. After the pandemic, there will be new configuration of the world, and we have to be attentive to it. So finally, I want to invite all of you to be attentive to our future invitation to continue understanding the complexity of the world. So thank you very much, Professor, again. Thank you, University of Tshingua. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. And also, we would like to invite you, your group of students to Tshingua again. Professor Li, 2 years ago, every year you will try to take a group of students to Tshingua University. So we would like to host you again. I'm very, very sorry for the technical issues, for your waiting. Very sorry. Okay.
But it's okay.
Okay.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.